Hey guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we are going to be setting up 3 times ore duplication, and we're also going to be getting ourselves some more windmill power. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today we are hopping back into some more Seaopolis, and well, I have some stuff that I want to do today. How about mechanism? I think mechanism we should get into. We should start potentially working our way towards power for one thing. Mechanism can definitely generate some power. And also ore tripling. I think we should be able to get ore somewhat automated and well, get this stuff shipped and get some stuff produced, because we're going to definitely need it. Also, right now I'm still working on mystical agriculture. That is a long rabbit hole, but that's just mystical agriculture in itself. Like there's nothing I can really do to get around the fact that I have to kill several sheep to be able to make seeds for things. Also, next is going to be cows. I've already made a bunch of other seeds. Also, I have to get them planted, and then we're gonna have to get all kinds of other stuff going. But yeah, this is what I've been working on. I'm slowly but surely working on. This will get us some wool and stuff like that. There are a few things I am skipping. Like, I don't need turtles. Like, I don't think I'm gonna need to have turtle seeds. Turtle seeds are another thing. Like, let's see, squid seeds. I don't think we're gonna need to worry about squid seeds. They're just stuff like that. I don't really think we're gonna have to worry about. So I'm not bothering with it. So I wanted to mention this. These lights, these actually work really well. These are from the fairy lights mod, and I was kind of surprised by how nice they actually kind of look. They really blend in here, so I was able to kind of light the area up and make it look a little bit brighter. However, I did notice with the fairy lights that, like, the white lights, for example, it really shows with the yellow ones, but it also, I mean, it shows with the whites as well. If we place these down in an area that's kind of dark, notice how it lights it up, right? But it looks like it's off. Whenever you turn it off by right-clicking, notice it gets dark now, but it looks like it's on. Yeah, I think it's a little bit backwards. Just a little bit backwards, you know, just a little bit. The yellow ones, I mean, the white ones are the same way. It's almost even more noticeable. I wish it was just on like that and then would be bright, because I like the way white lights look. I think they feel more industrial, kind of fit the theme that we're kind of going with. But these bulbs definitely kind of fit as well. And I don't know if we do have the ability to take, like, well, chains kind of look funny if they're on their side. I was gonna say, if we had something that was on its side, like, let's say a cable, for example, it doesn't connect. So yeah, I was trying to think of some ways we can make, like, interesting looking lights, but I don't think that's gonna work either. Anyways, we need to, well, I wanted to show you guys a couple of different things. I am playing on an updated version, and so we do have a few updates that happened, and we can now make compact machine walls inside the induction smelter, which is kind of nice. A lot of the compact machine recipes do seem to be moving to the industrial or the induction smelter, which I guess is a way to allow for automation, because otherwise you're gonna have a hard time automating. It is possible to automate, don't get me wrong, it is totally possible to automate. It's a really big setup to automate with compact machines, and compact machines have this issue where when you log in and log off, you have to replace this thing to turn this back on. There's a whole thing you got to do every time you log in. So a lot of things like disconnect and stuff like that. But anyways, we need to get into some more mechanism, like I had mentioned, because we need more wind generators. We need more turbines. I think we're going to have wind generators are going to probably be one of our big driving power sources at the moment. Yes, this is a nice power source. But I think the windmills would be kind of nice if we have, you know, like, free power that is just enough power to at least power our range cards, right? That would be nice if we could just have our infinite range cards, or eventually go to the dimensional range cards and just have it powered with our windmills, and everything else can be powered elsewhere, because mechanism takes a little bit of power to kind of get started, right? It does use a lot of power. So let's go ahead and figure out where we're going to place this stuff. Where should I put my mechanism machines? I was kind of thinking about that. I think this area over here could work. We could definitely get some setup going right here. This is a free pad that we have, an empty pad. And let's talk about some of the stuff that I want to get going. We need some more industrial, let's see, go to mechanism. We definitely need some more of the infusion. What are they called? Not infusion. The infuser. We definitely need some more of those. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark that. Inside of our quests, it automatically gives us a little bit of a setup for a triple ore processing setup, which is not too crazy to think about doing at this point. Where's it at? It's down here. It was here with the mechanisms. Yeah, right here. Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad? So yeah, purification, which is kind of nice. It talks about the different stages. This one is the start of a 3 times ore processing. This is the start of a 4 times. And this is the start of a 5 times. 5 times is kind of crazy. 4 times is honestly kind of crazy. 3 times, totally doable. Totally doable. We already have an electrolytic separator. So I wonder if we can try and get a 3x3 ore processing setup. A very simple one inside of this plot here. That would be kind of cool. Inside of a 5x5, let's see if we can do this. I'm going to go ahead and get all the machines made up for it. And we're going to see if we can fit this thing in here and get it automated and start the process of automating all of our ores and stuff into this. I just want to show you some of these recipes because this is where things get like, oh, like I'm going to have to set up auto crafts for every single like thing. And that's when we start diving into this. Just take a look at this purification chamber, for example. We need to make an enrichment chamber, and it's just one enrichment chamber that we need to make just for this machine. The crusher is its own thing, but we also need multiple crushers in order to make this setup. And then we need 2 enrichment chambers to make this. So let's take a look just at the purification chamber. Just to put this in perspective. Purification chamber requires an enrichment chamber, right? The enrichment chamber requires 2 crushers and a steel casing. Steel casing requires a machine frame and so on and so forth. A crusher requires 2 pulverizers. Those pulverizers require their own setup. And then, of course, steel casing and machine frames. And, of course, these require machine frames as well. This is a rabbit hole of recipes. My goodness. So I think at this point I have everything crafted. And let me tell you, that was interesting. Especially the sink. The sink required all of the water condensers. Oh, man. Condensators. And also the Aqueous accumulator that we already have. Yeah, to make a sink, which is kind of nice, but the sink is hopefully an infinite water source. I know it can be disabled in packs, but let's go ahead and talk about this. So the purification chamber is going to require oxygen. That is one of the big key things to this. So we do need a way to get oxygen. So the electrolytic separator can probably go here. And then I'm going to place the sink in the back. And then the sink basically is going to have a pipe that is going to, you know, fill this with water. So for that, we need a mechanical pipe. And we can go ahead and hook that up to the back. And send it to it. Now that should be filling up with water. And as you can see, we have water here. And still the residual oxygen that we had prior. And now I believe we should be able to send the oxygen here. Like I want the hydrogen to be vented off for right now. We might be able to use that later on. But if we take a look at the fluids, we go over here. Let's see. I think we can send this through a regular pipe. I believe, yeah, mill buckets. We just need to configure this properly. So out here, it's got this being the output. But instead, we need the front to be the output for this, which is a cyan color. And auto eject on. And then I believe we can set this to pull. And that should be able to pull from the front and pull the oxygen out to go into the purification chamber. Let's see. Is that going to work? Purification chamber. I'm going to have to configure this. Oh, yeah. It only accepts gases. Okay. So this is not what I thought it was. It's not the fluid. Okay. Mechanism. And then we need the pipe. All right. So let's go ahead and find this. This is going to be the mechanical pipe and the pressurized tube. It's a tube. I always forget what it's called. It is a tube. All right, so we can send the tube here. All right, let's get back to configuring this. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Man, I don't know why this always seems confusing to me. This is the items config. We have the gases. Input is set to all sides. Wait, this is a purification chamber. What am I doing? We don't need a purification chamber. We need... Wait, no, it is the purification chamber. This is just not upgraded yet. Okay, I was like so confused because normally I deal with the factories. So yeah, this should fill up this empty slot here, but it's going to be requiring this. So I need to set this to gases, and then yeah, make sure this is set to the front. There we go. Now it's set up. And then that should pull the oxygen. Oh no, that's pulling the hydrogen. We do not need the hydrogen. Weird that it pulled the hydrogen out. It's not supposed to. This should, there we go, pull only the oxygen. I think it's probably because the hydrogen is set up to output as well. Oh no, we might have set that earlier. Okay, so there we go. It's running, it's got a little bit of power, so it is running right now. So now the purification chamber is set up. And then we need to have that go into the crusher. And then the crusher is going to go into an enrichment chamber. Then the enrichment chamber is going to go into an energized smelter. And let's see. And then the resulting output can go up. I might actually place this here. And this is going to go here. The reason being is I can have the mechanical pipe going here. And, or not a mechanical pipe, a logistical transporter. And that way we can keep this into a nice small area. And then we'll worry about inputs here in a minute. So logistical pipes. There we go. And let's go ahead and configure these. It's not super difficult to configure. We can pretty much clear everything we see. I think I'm going to input from the top. Potentially. Let's see. I should probably run cables into the back. That's going to be how we power this. So cables into the back. I'm going to run a cable. I'm going to run this pressurized tube like this. And then move this whole setup. Man, I'm trying to condense everything. So for the item config, we're going to set the top to be input. And then we can move this around. You can see the blue is going to be the output. That's going to move it to this machine. And over here, we'll turn eject on. And we can clear off everything. And we can say input from this side. Go back, input from this side, and then we're going to output to this side. And it's going to be the same with all of these. Doing the same procedure. I'm going to just go ahead and clear everything. Make sure this is set to input, and this is set to output. And then last but not least, this is actually going to output via the top, I believe. Either way, it's all going to end up going into our system. We're going to set this up to hopefully be fully automated and just running. But this one again, auto eject, and bam. And then we'll set that to input, and we'll have the top be output. And then for power, we're going to go ahead and give this some cable back here. Just like so, like a nice little battery with a point. Giving this all power. All these machines now have some power. And, well, let's go ahead and get the ender chest set up. So, basically with these ender chests, I'm going to have an ender chest that is being sent items from our refined storage network into it. So this chest here. And that chest is going to match this one. Then we're going to have an output chest that is going to be a different color. So, what should we use? We should probably use like, we can use black dye. That could work. So we have the dark gray and the black. So input and output. I should do like red and green. That'd probably make things a bit more clear. But anyways, maybe we can do white. No, white. Why do I want the input actually? So let's use white dye. This is going to be inevitably what goes into our refined storage system. Like everything will end up going into this white chest. Okay, so that'll work. So let's go ahead and set this ender chest up. And I believe we can just place this on top. No, it actually has to be piped in, doesn't it? We have to pipe this in. So logistical transporter. Place that on top. And then we can place the ender chest here on top. That's going to be what goes into the system. Then we set it like that, and that's going to pull items in. Now to export, same thing, logistical pipes. Except for this is going to be a white ender chest. And then I'm going to show you the refined storage stuff that I'm going to have to do in order to get that going. So this will be like that, pulling out of that machine and going into there. Very interesting that we're getting this all in one area. And of course we can upgrade these all to factories. So that's the bonus for this, is upgrading the factories and stuff. So let's take some ore, for example, and let's go ahead and just throw this in and make sure everything's nice and working. So like iron ore right here, plain Jane iron ore. This should triple this ore. If I put it in here, that's going to be pulled out. Going to go in here. It is going to be very slow because, of course, it is running just by itself with no upgrades or anything. And also running off of the oxygen that's being able to be given. Turns into 3 iron clumps. Of course, that runs into a crusher. It's going to turn into the dirty material. That's going to go into here, and then vice versa. It's going to go all through here. Okay, so 3 times ore processing. It requires a lot of machines. It requires a bit of power, especially once we get this thing upgraded. Now the output. Let's go ahead and get the input and output set up with our network down here, because that's where things really start to change. So we need a way to send in. I know this is becoming like a spaghetti mess. This whole thing is like a spaghetti mess. But we can have like this chest be here. And how about this chest here? That could actually work just fine. And then we need to go into the importers. Okay. So I think there's an upgraded importer. Yes, we have advanced importers here. And advanced exporters, I believe. Which is going to be very, very useful. So let's take one of our importers and turn it into an advanced one. And then an exporter. This one's going to be really important. Advanced exporter. Okay. Perfect. So the importer needs to go onto the white chests. Like this. And I really hope. Okay, yeah, it has more slots. That's kind of what I'm hoping. And I hope it's faster by default. This one as well. That was not intended. Oh man, all of the things happening. Glass. There we go. Yes, this importer. I need you. Okay, thank you. Exporter. This is what's going to send the ores. And hopefully I have enough. Wow, I cannot place this thing for the life of me. So with that finally placed, we can start working through our main stuff that needs to be processed. And we also got to get auto crafting set up. So I guess it's about time we finally upgrade the auto crafting. I think it's called extra. Yeah. So we have an iron crafter that we can make. So we have the base crafter itself that we need to get out. And then we can upgrade the base crafter to an iron crafter. Okay, here we go. Regular crafter. Perfect. We can upgrade that to an iron crafter. And then upgrade that to a gold crafter. That should complete that. And we can take that even further into a diamond crafter, which I probably want to do. I don't know how expensive the netherite one is. Oh, I don't have enough for that. So I'm just going to go and take this to a diamond crafter. I think that's going to be way better for right now. And then I'm just going to pop that right here. That's just going to do regular crafts for us. So all of these slots can hold auto crafting recipes, which is amazing because we can actually pull those auto crafting recipes, or at least we should be able to, when we set this up. So we can put a crafter card in here to make sure that it auto crafts to pull out these ores that we're going to have set up. So basically I need to take and process every single one of these like this. I need to not have it on processing. I need to have it on crafting. And I just have it set up so that way it automatically does every single one of these chunk recipes. So believe it or not, I have all those recipes ready to go right here. It didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. And now we have all of those set up. However, we need a crafting card, and that's going to allow us to auto craft all of these as we pull them out. So we're gonna have to set these up with this card. Okay, so what is this gonna require? 2 crafting tables. And that, perfect. Perfect, there we go. Crafting upgrade. Okay, so this shouldn't be too fast. So that is going to be our input. That's our receiver. Okay, so inside this, we put the crafting card. And hopefully I can still access while we're down here. Okay, so from this point, I should be able to drag the chunks into here to specify what needs to be made and export it into the system. So all of these chunks need to go in here. So we have aluminum, platinum, uranium, and then it goes to zinc, iron, gold, osmium, and last but not least, cobalt. So that should be everything. And let's hope that this is working by checking in here. Okay, and it seems to be putting all those in. Does this now distribute randomly? It does not seem to like round robin everything. I guess it's automatically doing that from what it looks like. Like they are going in. It is going to be pretty slow because we don't have any speed upgrades in anything. But this is like definitely getting the base automation started up. And look at that. It's already going. Should be pulling iron out for right now. Once this is done, it's going to start pulling stuff out. And then it should be sending everything right here, which it definitely is. And you won't see that because this is going fast enough. These should be able to pull in and export pretty fast. Now for the fun part. How do we turn these into factories? Well, we do have these things called tier installers. And these are going to be how we turn these things into factories. And so if we just make 4 of them, I believe that is enough for all 4 of our machines to be turned into a tier 1 factory. And so we basically just shift click on here, and that is now a factory, and it holds all these different things. So you can see it kind of working through there. Shift right click, this now does 3 items. Shift right click, and these are all now factories, and it should go 3 times faster. However, it does cost more power. We went from 80 RF per tick to now 240 RF per tick. And it's also going to require more oxygen to operate as well. Luckily, we're able to keep up with just this basic setup. So hopefully it's going to continue to work this way. I might need to set it to just do a regular auto sort where it fills in all across. I think that's usually better than having everything all mix in like it's doing. I don't really want it to all mix in like this. So of course, I also wanted to make some windmills today. So I do want to get those done. And if you didn't know, metallurgic infusers, well, they can also be turned into factories. So now that we have that, we can do 3 times as much off of this. It still takes the same fuel, right? It still takes the same amount per item, but we have tons of redstone now and tons of iron. So let's do like 1, 2, 3 sets of iron, and that is going to also require 3 sets of redstone. And then I'm going to do the same for the osmium. And I can just set a chest on top of this, and we'll have an input and output chest. And I'm going to have them kind of set up here. This is going to look a little bit wonky, but that's just how mechanism cable works. Because we need to set up logistical cables that go here, but these can output. I wish they would automatically accept, but they don't, from what I remember. Yeah, I wish they did. That would be really nice. Just like all the other machines, we just get some auto accepting blocks to make setup smaller. So yeah, this is going to allow us to just throw this in, and this, everything's going to go into here. Actually, you know what? I don't think this allows auto input to the front, or auto input of the redstone, because there's not like a double way to do that. You have to have another input that is another cable going to the front. Kind of unfortunate, but that's the case there. Over here, we can actually set up logistical pipes on this one to make it a little bit easier. Like this setup right here would work. We basically say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and turn all this off. I'm going to say input here, which is going to be this. And then we're going to have the yellow be down here. And this would actually work out as well. And then, of course, we need to make sure the left is the output. All of our product are going to end up here. Same for this. which means I should probably go ahead and just remove this setup here. I just noticed that that just completely went down there. I have my axe in my inventory. There we go. That just went down there. I've got to go get that. I do not want to make another one of those. I do not want to make another one of these machines. Thank you. They're all so expensive. And losing machines to water is not something I would prefer to do. So yeah, this little setup actually works really well. We just throw that in there, and same for this, which is the osmium, I believe, in redstone. Except for I think it uses way more redstone. I think it uses double the redstone to make the control circuits, right? 20, whereas the iron just uses 1. Yeah, I think it's double the amount of redstone required for this. So if I do 3 stacks of osmium, I need to do several more stacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to do 6 stacks of redstone. There we go. And look at that. It's set up and starts working automatically. Of course, we need to spread this out. We can do that for all of them. Make sure this auto sort is on. That's going to get us a lot more of the alloys and stuff that we need in order to make these windmills. So I was trying to come up with a location for where I should put the windmills, and I was testing to see if they actually work when like compressed next to each other. They do. I thought that they didn't, but they totally do. I don't think they have a any negative effect that's happening to them. I know they're affected by how high up in the air they are. They should produce more, but they're all producing the same, and they all filled up their buffer. So they're producing about 121 RF per tick each, which is not bad at all. Yep, this is going to be a lot of windmills. Oh, but it doesn't bother me too much. Like, the fact that we have all these is going to be nice. Let's see, I place that there, and I'm just going to make like a circle of extra windmills, and then take our cable and just fill our cable in here. And that is definitely going to secure some power. And that is a mess of windmills going on right there. Oh boy, that's super funny looking. But at least I don't have to stare at it. They're nice and high up in the air. Oh man, I needed 32 of them because of how many we're placing. It's 4 here, or say 8 here, 8 there, 8, 32. Yeah, we're gonna need 32 in total. Oh man, it's just a mess of windmills, but I love it. I love stuff like this. So look at these windmills. They're absolutely hilarious. Okay, so if we added 32 of them, and they're producing about 121 a piece, that's about 3,800 RF that we're generating here. Like, we just added to our whole network. So yeah, just doing that very simple thing added 3,800 RF per tick. Not bad. Not bad at all, which means I can probably take that range card and actually use it. There we go. And by the way, that number is max end. I guess it's infinity range. There we go. So yeah, we should be able to like use this card like when we go all the way over here. There's like nothing preventing us from using it. However, I want the cross-dimensional one, as I think that one's going to be a little bit better on us overall. So I'm using this graph from the Flux controller to kind of get an idea of how much power we're using. Of course, this is definitely not 100% accurate, considering we have passive power that's coming in and also powering our system. So yeah, this is definitely not accurate, but it does give me an idea of how much we are using based on just our points. Now this plug is pulling in power, but we don't have power going out or going into this network from our points. So that kind of changes things. So really this plug can tell me how much power is coming into the network, or it basically tells me how much power is being used by all of our points. And well, this is not being used by our points, but we definitely are using 4,000 RF per tick just on that alone. So it's good to know. I'm not seeing this dip down any in power, so that means that we should be able to sustain this network just solely off of the windmills, which is awesome. Well, guys, we come to the end of the video, and of course I do want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is going to go to Feather Rose. Thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way, over on Patreon. And guys, if you are interested in becoming a patron yourself, of course, all you need to do is find that link down in the description below. Also, while you're down there, there's several other useful links that I would recommend checking out. And guys, if you did enjoy today's video, of course, give it a huge thumbs up, and also click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I would recommend checking as well, because you'd probably be surprised to find out that you aren't actually subscribed. So I recommend checking that subscribe button. Anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed. Of course, I will see you in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.